Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's 9 o'clock and it is the 27th of October 2022. And I have to say, it's been very, very mild. These last few weeks have been pretty decent. So lovely to see you all. Thanks for tuning in wherever you are in the country, in the world. Nice to see you, nice. Sadly, Michael can't be with us tonight because he's gone to London and he's probably on his fifth bottle of champagne right now and getting squiffy with all the locals. So wherever he is, I'm wishing him well. And it's good to see you all. Thanks, as always, for your continued support and your patronage in tuning in and listening into little old me. And for a lot of the reasons, I never really understood or understand why. But anyway, it's what it is. We're seeing so much going on right now, and I truly believe that we're close to maybe some civil unrest. We've got winter to get through. Many people are going to struggle because they've got smart meters now. Smart meters for dumb people. Yes, when you can't pay, they just turn them off. They don't have to send a bully boy in anymore, you know. No bully boys cross the threshold. They just go ping, and they send off a little signal up to the status lights. Satellites up there, stalagmites, stalactites. Up there, they send it ting, and it goes ting, and all your power goes off. Your gas goes off. Mildred, why am I freezing? Why's my testicles cold? I don't know, George. Oh, paid the bill. We ain't got no money, George. We ain't got no gas. We ain't got no electric. And these are the times we're living in. And it's a problem for me. And I don't like it. I really don't like it when all these people in these big so-called corporations produce and give us obligations that some of us just can't meet, you know. And I always look to the least fortunate in the world because I've been there. I've been homeless. I slept in my van for a long time. And I scraped through by the skin of my teeth. And my life's been a bit of a roller coaster. And I guess because it's been hard and fast and furious at times, that's why I'm like what I'm like. Because I can't understand for the life of me why we've allowed this to happen. Why someone can have a home but someone else can't, and someone can have gas but then somebody else can't. And I genuinely think it's a Hunger Games situation. But it's lovely to see you all. Sonia Ballard, Scott, not live on Wake Up UK. Hang on a sec. Hang on. Well done, Son. Let me remedy that. And yeah, I'm tired, guys. I'm right. So saving changes. Right, we should be live now on Wake Up UK. Do apologise. A little technical issue. We have technical issues. As I said earlier in my live stream, PC Fletcher 2 weeks ago had me in his police cell. And he analysed me, yes, and I didn't realise, but he'd gone up past his wristwatch and he'd left it in there. And to my discomfort, I found at midnight it was chiming away and keeping good time. So I pulled it out and I've cleaned it and serviced it and sent it back to him because Casios are not my cup of tea. But what a fucking brute! He got his whole arm in, dirty bastard. I can't understand why public servants seem to like playing with people's orifices. Yeah, I don't. Oh, we're waiting for him to pass the bowel movement. He's got any drugs up there. What's the fascination? What if I was a public servant and I wanted to be fascinated about something? I'd be fascinated about the birds and the bees. I'd be fascinated about a Ferrari. I'd be fascinated about champagne. I wouldn't be fascinated about someone's arsehole, would you? Anyway, there's no obligation. Bill of Rights, nothing can be done to the prejudice of people. Homeless people, I completely agree with you. But here's the problem. What army are you going to bring with you to back that up? Because that's what the system does. It's got its army of weaponized idiots now. Yes, and they don't give a fuck. And that's the problem. They will come and bash you, section you, because that's how the fascists roll, guys. And that's sadly where we're at. But yes, you're quite right. The Bill of Rights is an established law of the land. But these people in the DVLA, the police, they don't really fucking care. But they do care when they get into a court case. And this is where the courtrooms can come into play. As you know, locally this year we've had Robert White versus the Queen when the Queen was still alive before she turned up her lizard toes. And he won a case against Kent Police, and the Kent Police got found unlawful trespassers, and PC Dunn and PC Belmont. So there we go. So the law does apply, and trespass laws, when you get these people, oh no, trespass don't matter no more. No. But you get into a court, and then the jury and the judge, all the facts are laid before the case, and then it gets found, yes, no, you did trespass. Well, that's the laws of the land. Supreme Court is probably the highest court in the land, and I'd say that maybe these issues get recognised in there. But we've moved in some really dodgy times now, haven't we? The subversion of the people, subversion of the Constitution, and whatever it is, we all tend to believe in this system, don't we? We believe in these maggots. We believe in Richie Sunak is going to be the next saviour. I'll never forget my dad a few years ago waving his flag. We've got Boris now. Yes, Fishface Cameron's gone. He's gone. Boris is in. And he's going to change the country. He's going to And then 6 months later, my dad's screaming at the TV screen, fucking Boris, get rid of him. And I'm like, you wanted him in? People can't see the lunacy of it all. It's madness, absolute madness. Anyone can be a magistrate, don't even need any qualification. 2 days to become a magistrate, you know. Yes, 2 days, yes, because you can learn a fucking lot about the law in 2 days, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you. Yes, sign here, check please. What is Hindu? What's a Hindu? Lay eggs. What's a Hindu? It lays eggs. Yes, it does. And Kenneth's bringing these truths here. So it's lovely to see you all, people, by the way. Thanks very much for tuning in. If any of you want to come and join the show tonight, feel free. The link is in the Wake Up UK chat, or the link is, I can share the link in this chat room, actually. Hopefully you can see it. And then if any of you want to pop in to the chat, you can do. There you go. I've just shared the link. Come and join the show. Why not? We should all apply to be magistrates. Oh goodness, I couldn't get my head up my arse that far. I fail to see how can they take any pleasure of the misery, the absolute misery that they're causing to the great people of this great nation. Once upon a time they were restrained. They really were. So anyway, getting back to Sunak, this guy was Chancellor of the Exchequer, I do believe, in charge of that big red suitcase with nothing in it whatsoever, ladies and gentlemen. It's just lassoed to his wrist to make him look very fucking important. But he didn't really do a very good job at that. But he's a banking industry man, you see. He's got £890 million of a private fortune of his own wealth. His own family's worth £890 million. I wonder just what hardships he's finding himself under at the moment, and I beg to think that he's been placed into this position by the elitists, or not so elitists, to bring in a cashless society, cashless whatever. And when the cash goes, ladies and gentlemen, you best make sure that the last one out turns the lights off, because cash gives us many things. Goodness me, I've handled some cash in my lifetime. Yes, I've handled more of the folding than many people, but I now see what money is. Money's not what I once thought it was. I always thought it was a good thing, and it was good to go out to work, and it was good to pay your taxes, and it was good to pay for people to cave your head in uniform when they should be protecting you. And I decided many years ago, fuck that shit. That's what I did. I said no more. Only way to control our own courts, homeless people. Homeless people seems to be very switched on and on the ball. Nice to see you, mate. Chrissy Morris, why would someone worth £77 million take a job for 72 grand a year? To bring in a cashless society. That's the reason. Promissory notes with birth certificate on. What an illusion. It is just an illusion. Yeah, it is. It's irrational and illogical. The system is certainly not designed by Spock, is it? It's really not. So, I see... What do I see? I don't really know. I know that people need to wake up. People really do need to get a grip of what's going on and just try and see the light. But I said earlier, you know, on one of my live streams, the truth, when you bring certain truths uh, to the front and to the mantle, your friends and families, they can't deal with them. It's just, you can see in their eyes that they just glaze over, they start rolling, and oh no, I ain't got time to listen to this. How many times have you ever spoke to your friends and family? The sister government wouldn't harm us. No, of course it wouldn't. Wouldn't harm us. No. Fucking what? Guys and girls, I've been in this enlightenment thing for 14 years. Gotta be 14, 15 years. And some of the stories that have been told to me from child abuse in Jersey at Hope de la Grange, a survivor of the ritualistic child abuse, being abused by judges, social workers, and police. But of course, no one in your family wants to listen to this, do they? No, they don't want to know. No, this is poppycock. This is made up bullshit. No, it's not. One of the survivors phoned me and told me directly. Some of the stories I've heard of police violence and the stuff that goes on in cells that people have told me this happened to them, I'm like, makes you go cold sometimes. Makes you go cold that people in this country would actually do that to you is beyond reason and beyond anything decent. And I don't know where it all stops. On I think it was Tuesday, I was on my way to work in my little velomobile. I was pedaling away like a 4-year-old trying to get away from Jimmy Savile. I was, and I'm pedaling away, and I come to this guy who's a council worker, and he's got this big wagon with the drop down sides, and he's got his shovel out. And I pulled over, and someone had fly tipped, and I looked there, and I said, "That's a bathroom. That's got shower tray legs and tiles there." And he said, "Yeah, mate." He said, "You're right." So I'm a plumbing and heating engineer. I said, "But you would never get all that out of this little vehicle here, would you?" And he laughed at me. He said, "That's really cool." So anyway, I said to him, "Look at the state of the road." He said, "I've had to stop the road this morning because I've been shoveling it off the road and putting it into my wagon to clear the road. And I've had people, because they can't get past, threaten me and wanting to get out of their cars and beat me up." And I'm like, "Stop it." He said, "No, I'm only clearing the road so I can open the road again and people can come past." He said, "When I'm telling and explaining to them that they're going to have to turn around and go back the other way and go 200 yards down the road and then do a left and then go back out into the main road down there, they're taking an umbrage. What did you say? What did you say? Do you want to punch up?" And he's like, "It's not just been one." He said, "Every other driver this morning has wanted to have a fight with me." And I'm like, "Is it in the tap water? What's the world?" You'd never have heard about this in the 70s. No, it weren't really on the cards. Back then, the bin men all whistling when they turned up. Whistle as you work. Big black faces, big black hands. The old bin would go over their shoulders. "Morning, madam. How's your daughters?" Yes. He never got all this disgruntled looking and people with snarled up faces looking like Rottweilers. I don't know where it's all going, but we'll soon see what comes out in the end. "It's in the newspaper," says Jesus Jones. Right, it must be true then. Must be true, mustn't it? Yeah. If it's in the newspapers, it must be true. Any of you people know Max Egan? I've just watched a BitChute thing. Actually, I'm going to play you. Let me find BitChute because I want you to enlighten yourselves. Okay. So let me find this video on BitChute. I watched it earlier, and then I'm going to share it. So bear with me. And this is how a dude dealt with the DVLA and got on a level with them. And they said, "Oh, we're not going to take any further action on this one." So it just shows you how easy this is. This is really easy. So grab a pen, grab some paper, grab a coffee, grab some popcorn, grab some whatever it is you want to grab. Go and grab it. And this is how easy you can deal with corporations. So let's find it. I've just got the video up, so I'm going to share this and play this because this is really good information. Really, really is. You're going to like this one. Investors, people, men in black, some communists. Yo, right? You all right, mate? What's up? Oh, okay, that's because I'm sharing a video. All right, bud, I'll come out of that one. Cheers, love. They've cut the sound, haven't they? Right. So hopefully you can all hear me now. So apologise about that. I didn't realise I was watching at this end and I could hear it playing, but some of you couldn't get hold of that. Right. So basically, the notice that he used to send it back was. Let me just turn the volume off. It says he wrote. He returned. He wrote to the DVLA enforcement officer, dear sir or madam, we thank the DVLA enforcement officer for your correspondence dated 23rd of the 7th, 13, regarding insurance of a vehicle registration number. This appears to be a mistake, as although the correspondence was addressed to PA Yeomans, the claim was against you, would the DVLA enforcement officer confirm who you is and or forward the correspondence to you? Have a nice day. Refused for cause per UCC 1-308. And then he got a letter back saying, we're not continuing with any action. So it's powerful. It is powerful. We got Spearthrower in the room. Evening, Spearthrower. Oh, he's probably done a runner.
Good evening.
Hello, gorgeous. You all right?
All right, I popped on to tell you that we couldn't hear the sound, but you
Yeah,
couldn't hear me either.
It was a good. That was back in 2013, and that was it. They bugged out. They said no further action. Could you get the gist through the letters of what that was about?
No, because I couldn't really see the text very well on the screen I've got.
So the guy got he got a letter from the DVLA saying your motor's not insured. It was off the road. Is £100 fine. So he just wrote back simply to the DVLA enforcement officer. You've addressed it to PA Yeomans, who his name was, but he said the claim is against you. Please forward this to you so that it can be dealt with. Because as you know, you can be plural or singular. And then he got a letter back saying no further action, but he finished it off with refused for calls UCC 1-308, which is reservation of all rights. So it's simple to deal with these agencies, and you've got to keep it simple. You've really got to keep it simple. Anyway, how are you doing, Spearthrower? Long time no speak. Oh, he's gone. He's gone. 5 bottles of champagne in London. Mike's probably on his 5th now. I've got to be honest with you. He loves a bottle of champagne. He really does. Yeah, he's having a day out, and I don't blame him. Bless his little heart. You there, Spear? No, he's gone. He's disappeared. So
sorry, I forgot I was muted again.
No, you're all good. You're all good. You're all good. How we find it?
Well, it's been an interesting day actually.
Go on, tell us about
24 hours.
Go
I
on.
went and got a new pup yesterday.
Hey, happy days.
Yeah, she's 9 weeks old.
Oh, that's lovely. Oh, no. We've just took on a Rottie. I'm not going to say how old she is because you never know. But
yeah.
We always said we'd never rescue a Rottie. We've had 2 before from pups, but I've got to be honest. We've had her a week, and she's really good with women, but I think whoever had her before, maybe a geezer, weren't very nice to her. She's very cautious of me, kept barking at me, but now she's absolutely fine, and she's lovely, and I'm really glad we've given her a home. You know, she's just so nice. I now know, providing all's fair and square, that she's going to have a good life, and that's. Yeah, it's good. But I love dogs, don't you? Dogs for me, they keep you level, don't they?
Yeah. Well, I've got 2 now.
Yeah, the thing is, they keep you level. They're not after nicking your ass. They're not after running off with your best mate. They're just pure. And yes, you can get nasty ones, but generally, if you give a dog a good home, good food, good bed, man, that dog's gonna love you forever. And that's all what we all want, really, isn't it? Being loved forever. So yeah, we've given her a good home, and each day's a good day now. And she's like tomorrow will be the first week she's been here. But yeah, it's. I'm glad I've done it. I'm glad I've done it because it's. And if anyone does want to rescue a Rottweiler, there's a website called Rotties in Need, and the woman that runs it, absolutely amazing. So if you can give a Rottie a good home and you can handle a Rottweiler, then yeah, give them a look up. No sound. You can hear me? Can't you, Spearthrower?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Gaster bum saying he can't hear me. Hiya, Dave. Carly here. Little Lodge. Carly, hello, mate. Nice to see you.
Dog can't hear. and wake
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, so maybe Gasti, you not turned your volume up. What do you make of Sunak's coming in as this so-called prime minister?
Well, it's against the constitution, isn't it?
Do you think they really care about a constitution?
Well, it's the law that even they're supposed to be able to abide by.
I agree.
Your kings, your queens, your judges, everyone. That's a set of rules that they've got to abide by. It's the constitution. Without that, that's the basic. That's the foundations of law.
Absolutely. I've been banging
No.
on about settled and established law, which I'm learning. Blackstone, Dicey, Maitland. But you can know all that, but at the end of the day, what army am I going to bring to back it up? And that's we
Well,
are.
you're also a Christian in power, in office, aren't you? I should stop saying in power because it's not power; it's office.
Yeah,
Then they're not supposed to. I mean, what is he, Hindu?
it don't see. They're all
I don't
fixed.
really care what he is, but what he isn't is Christian.
We don't have a proper constitutionally formed government, and that's the reason why the constitution's not being.
I just said constitution. I meant covenant.
Yeah, they're the covenant. Yeah. No, I
Yeah,
agree.
it's in the covenant.
Yeah, no, it is in the covenant. Yeah.
The moment you break that is the moment your government is illegitimate.
It's been illegitimate for ages.
Yeah, we know that, don't we? But at least that's a piece of old legislation that they're supposed to abide by, and us. You can't refute it because it's there.
Homeless people has just hit the nail right on the head, Stanley. He says, not our fault, as they have an army with guns and tasers, and that is the problem. So,
Well, you've got an army of people in hotels now as well, aren't you? Being paid by the taxman.
it's all. I don't know if you've ever read Albert Pike's predictions. That were Albert Pike was a very senior Freemason many years ago, Master Mason, and he was interviewed by this so-called Catholic priest. And Albert Pike gave his predictions of the First World War, the Second World War, and the Third World War. And if you correlate Pike's predictions with what's going on and has been going on, you'll clearly see and understand what the final goal is. I hope it don't come true, but there's a strong chance it probably may come true. But Albert Pike predicted that they're going to unleash the nihilists. They're going to get the Muslims fighting against the Muslims, and at the end of it, it's going to be for the full manifestation of Lucifer.
Yeah,
But
we don't realise that they're all being played.
Everyone's being played.
No matter which book you read from, which temple you walk into, you're all being played.
Well, you could start a war tomorrow, because if you went and sat with all the imams and said to them, "You got businesses and stuff?" I said, "Yeah. Do you pay tax?" Yeah. You tell them exactly where that tax money's going. You'd start a war, because they don't realise that all that tax money is going off to Israel, and that part. So yeah, that wouldn't go down too well. So as it plays out, it's going to play out. I just hope that we've all got front row seats. That's what I want. I mean, there's a lot of good things happening. Lots and lots of people are really doing some fabulous. This for all the bad stuff. There's so many good people out there doing some fabulous things. Bill, my mate Bill, we stood down about a week and a bit ago. 6 coppers, 2 bailiffs. Bill done really all the legwork. I was screaming and shouting down the phone, but they disappeared and never cut. They've not been back since. They said, "Oh, we're coming back tomorrow." I was like, "Well, you do what you're going to do now." But we give them. I armed this copper, the woman. I said to her, recent case, police have been found guilty of unlawful trespass because they didn't have proper. They wasn't proper. They were trying to do fraudulent business. And she said to Bill, "I wouldn't listen to David if I was you. You don't know he's going to get you into trouble." Well, when I armed them with that information, they all disappeared. the 2 bailiffs and the 6 police all jogged on. So yeah, we're starting to win, and I think the police are starting to wake up a little bit, more so than probably ever before. They've got to be, if you work in that job, surely you've got to be questioning what you're doing right now. Surely, got to be.
Well, we could say that about all of them that are against us. The politicians, the doctors, the nurses.
Well, yeah, I mean, Jesus Jones put up a post at the beginning of this show tonight, and this is what I've said tonight in a stream that I did earlier on my Facebook, that when you give people some hard knock truths, it irritates them.
Oh yeah,
It's like a rash. I can't listen to this. I'm off. You can see their eyes glaze over. But as what we're saying,
I've done it myself today, Dave. I've yesterday when I went to pick this dog up. As I walked out the front, the lines in the sky was unbelievable. They've been on a right good spraying session in the skies.
yeah, big
And I
time.
pointed it out. I said, "Going heavy on the spraying today, aren't they?" She went, "Yeah, what is that?" I said, "That is chemicals like heavy metals and stuff being sprayed into the atmosphere."
Yeah,
Well, I said, "Yeah, it's not a condensation trail from a plane. They only last 15 seconds."
that's
She
right.
said, "Oh, what is it?" I said, "It's all the stuff to either make us ill or dim out the sun."
Is to make
And
us
you
ill.
could see it just not registering.
No, they won't, and they go home and forget about it, which is
Yeah.
a sad. It's a sad thing, you
And I
know.
did the same a few hours later. Sorry, I chipped in
No,
then, didn't I?
go on, mate, crack on. No, I'm easy.
I
I'm glad
did
you're
the
in.
same a couple of hours later when I took the dog for a walk. I just carried the pup in my jacket, but White meets a
Oh,
group of dog walkers quite regularly, and I could see it in our sky as well. There was a line from as far as you could see in the east to as far as you could see in the west, and I pointed it out. He went, "No, it's just gone." I said, "That's not a contrail." I said, "That's a contrail over there," and I pointed to one, and I pointed to another. That's a contrail over there, and it was a minuscule. You could see 15 seconds worth of vapor. I said, "That there has been there hours." I said, "That
yeah,
is poisonous. It's spraying us like bugs."
yeah, we are. We
I said,
are.
"That's all heavy metals." No, no. I said, "Contrails like 15." Oh, I don't think so. 20 minutes. I said, "No, mate. Look it up." He says, "I will." I've not seen him since. But I just wonder if he has. But they can't get it. You can see him starting to edge away from you.
They will do.
Looking at
But
the watch.
what they fail to realise, the ironic part about it, is it's affecting them. It's affecting their breathing. It's affecting their general health. If they can't see it, look, it ain't as creation should be, is it?
No, I've had some shit news today as well.
What's that?
Been talking to my dad through email because he's in France now. He's talking about coming over, and then he mentioned that he's fully jabbed.
Oi, 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 oi. What can you do? What can you do?
Gutting.
It is gutting, but you
So
can.
I went on a bit of a rant, Dave, and I said, if it means getting any kind of other jobs to come over, I says, I don't want you here.
Oh,
Um,
mate.
I don't want him getting jobs to get on a frigging plane. There's
No.
countries out there in the world that are stopping vaccinating people from flying because there's the amount of them dropping. When they get into that pressurized atmosphere environment.
Oh,
I think is Canada one of them.
Canada's just come out and apologised.
Yeah. Alberta, yeah. Apologise for the unvaxxed.
But even then, you can tell people, and they're still, oh, you're one of them conspiracy mad ones with the big foil hat. Yeah, mate, I am. Yeah, don't worry about it. Go and have a nice time. Enjoy your life. even like if I was to, or people like me were to present that evidence, we'd be considered whatever. But if the mainstream was to put it, oh no, that's okay. It's been on the BBC. It's been on ITV. No, it must be true. It's been on ITV. Channel 4 is that. It's all over Channel 4. So that's the problem, isn't it? Cognitive dissonance. It is what it is. But yeah, Canada, Alberta have just apologised nationally, publicly for bullying people, and they said we got it wrong.
Oh, the New York, I think it's New York City Supreme Court. They have ordered, the Supreme Court has ordered all government and civic workers that got sacked due to the jab, or due to not having the jab, they've got to be reinstated and paid full wages.
Good.
And
Common sense.
I think that's the Supreme Court.
Common sense at last. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
See, when you put all this big package together, because it is a big package, you look at the smart meters, the rollout of all these technologies, they've got it in for us, and many are going to get it. Many are really going to get the rough end of the wedge this year, this Christmas period, this cold spike. Can you imagine? Let's say you get to February next year and you've run out of debt notes, you've run out of pound notes, there's nothing in your bank account, and your energy company's on the phone saying, "Where's your £2,000, monkey boy? You're a week late." "Well, sorry, I haven't got it." Chink, power goes off. Chink, gas goes off. What are you gonna do?
Well, I ain't got any gas.
How's that ever fair? How does one man's right because he's got a piece of paper in his pocket? How's that present up against a man that ain't got a piece of paper? Does this mean the one with the promissory note in his pocket's more entitled to this man over here that ain't got? I don't agree with that. I think everyone has a right to gas. I think everyone has a right to a home. I think everyone has a right to use the creation, because no man has more right to any of the creator's creations than anybody else.
No,
we're all supposed to be equal.
I mean, you don't mind paying some kind of small tariff for the work that's gone into actually transporting it and maybe the upkeep of the pipeline, bringing it to your door. But
that's right.
When you learn that the National Grid only gets 2% of what you pay,
that's right.
You know, you're being bent over and shafted.
I watched. There's a guy on a YouTube channel called The Improvement Guy. Very handsome looking young man, very articulate. He had an energy company around there the other week. He just lost his baby daughter. His baby daughter had just passed away. The wife's indoors grieving. He's grieving, and they've got energy companies, bailiffs, and police there. What the fuck? What the fuck? What's gone wrong? What has gone so majorly wrong?
We've capitulated for too long. That's what's happened.
Yeah, but there's going to be, the empire's got to strike back, right?
Oh yeah, I think there is this. It seems to be that the awakening is ramping up,
big time.
You could see it starting to happen last year, early last year. You could see an awakening happening slowly, but it was too slow. And you can see it now; it's really ramping up. There's more and more people now, because once you start to question one thing, you're on the staircase of disbelief. Then,
yeah.
And once you're taking that step on that staircase, you know, you have to see it through to the top.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, this all comes down to the will of the people. I've heard tonight that I don't know if it was in Canada, but there's going to be a shoot to kill policy soon. If you're not staying at home and thinking you're going out doing this, they're going to be shoot to kill. Was this Australia or New Zealand? One of these countries have been told now, if we get called out to any riots or people are making a thingy, protesting, then shoot to kill. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens there, because if that happens, I think that's got to be the catalyst for the wake up, isn't it? Surely.
Yeah, I reckon. That's what they want, though. They want us fighting against each other, us fighting against things like the police. The police knocking and smashing the granny out of us while they're all, in the back room having a jolly old time.
It's
Um,
disgusting. It's the
it's the old divide and conquer, and out of all the ashes, they'll bring some kind of solution to it all,
oh,
which will be a digital currency and a digital ID.
well, it's
And
coming.
oh, by the way, live in this tower block.
Do you think they can get rid of cash? Do you think the population of people will swallow that one?
The population won't like it. It's going to be a big fight to keep physical cash, but we can do it if we want to. You know, we kept the pound instead of the euro, and
Yeah,
we had a lot of pressure on that. But for anyone listening, as long as when them pound notes go I know it's only a promissory note, but when that physical cash disappears, you're screwed. Absolutely screwed.
big time.
I mean, the digital currency in China, they've turned around and said it's got an expiry date now. So if you earn some money and you don't spend it in their set amount of time on what they say you can spend it on, then it just disappears.
What? Why are we taking the Chinese model on? We're not communists, are we?
I don't know. Did you know that the Chinese have got police stations in the US?
Well, probably.
Yeah, they have. I kid you not. They've
Have
got
they?
Chinese police in them opening offices in the States.
What is it we must not like about our own people and our own country? What must we detest so much that we've allowed this to happen? It must be detestable, right?
Well, what has happened? You know, it is someone's offered you an easy solution if you just give up this, and then they keep offering offers like that. Oh, well, we do. You don't have to do that anymore. We'll do it for you. Just pay us this, or we'll tax you on that, and or just take this liberty away. And that's the way it's gone. We've got lazy because we put decisions into other people's hands that we should have been taking ourselves.
True enough. True enough. But now it's on, isn't it? It's on. It's lit.
Yeah.
They're yeah. Once Sunak is certainly been slammed in there to align this digital cut. They're laughing at everybody. They're just like, we don't care, and that's why they do what they do. You can give them all of what should be, but then they don't take no notice of it anyway.
Yeah.
They just don't take a notice. The police don't know nothing about law. They can recite a few things of pace and section this, that, the other, but they don't know law at all.
There's a lot of people walking the streets now, like the auditors with cameras. They've made themselves experts in the law that's applicable to them, and they're taking the police to the cleaners when they go to court, and they do. I mean, that's starting to have an impact on the way some coppers treat people. But it's too small. It's like a drop in the pond, isn't it?
Big time. Yeah, big time. Jan Lewis says, is there any help with own possession with bailiff and police at the door? Well, the case law with Robert White versus the Queen, unless they're proper and they're lawful, then you have the right to defend your castle. That was recited by the judge and the jury. The High Sheriff of Kent, every man's owns his castle, and you ladies, and you have the right to defend it. And when you've got people coming in taking stuff and they're not proper, then you have a right to defend it. And that's what Bob did. And Bob's at a point now where he's probably prepared to die to save his house. There's many of us that are crossing. See, the system in this country is not supposed to be adversarial. It was. We used to go dueling and we used to get swords out and kill each other, and the best man that was living at the end of it won, and that was the law. But we decided to take on a system that was not adversarial, that that avoided all that conflict. But maybe we're going back there. Maybe I said some time ago that you will see a copper or some bailiffs get killed soon, because this can't continue. It just cannot continue. It really can't. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see anyone lose their life.
Nobody does, but then again, nobody wants to see coppers smashing the door and smashing the granny out of people in their own bedrooms.
Well, Dean, a man called Dean, about 3 years ago, walked into a court and two security guards, because the magistrates or judge didn't like what Dean was saying, was ordered to leave the building, and they bashed him up bad, and they'd done all his eye socket, and it took 7 hours of surgery to sort of put back to some normal semblance. But then you've got to ask yourself, why is that happening? Why is that happening? When you start talking and they don't like what you're saying, but what you're saying is the truth, all of a sudden they just descend into this violence.
It's because you're over the target.
There you go. But then you have to question.
Speaking of over the target, 8 o'clock Saturday.
Yeah, good man.
Get that plug in there.
Yeah. Jesus Jones, a friend did everything. They still took her home. When she tried to defend her home, she was arrested in the hospital. Honestly, this country is fucking on a fucking knife edge. It's on a knife edge. It really is. It's going to be some catastrophes. You can't strip a nation to a point. People are going to fight back.
Of course
that's nature. That's mankind. That's the nature, the survival mechanism of mankind. When you've took everything off everyone, you bet they're going to fight back. You bet they're going to want to come and have a piece of the pie. Of course they are. What they got left to? What if they got nothing to lose? Why not? They're going to, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're going to. They've been getting away with robbing people's houses and that for years. We should never have a public sector where it deals with us, private people. Public government should only be dealing with business, and industry, high streets. That's it. All of us in our private homes and that should never be on the table, and we never was until the 1930s. All private men and women were private in their domiciles. Their homes were theirs. No man could come and take anything off of you unless you broke the law and they had lawful excuse. In the laws that I'm reading of jurisprudence, the established laws of land, it says that you can change your domicile at your will, even when you fancy. So you can't be forced to be part of a societal structure if you don't want to. If you say, I've had enough, I don't want part of this, then you have that absolute right. We have absolute rights. We don't have privileges. We don't have obligations. We have absolute rights, and they've took that away from us in some ways. But we can still. There's still like a ton.
We gave it to them.
We did. Oh, hugely so. Hugely so.
You can say that they've taken our rights and they've taken this, but at the end of the day, we've given it to them
on a plate, on a silver platter. And everyone's cognitive attitude is, oh, don't make a fuss, just pay it. You don't want them coming round, and you don't want them coming in your door, do you know? You don't. Fucking hell. Scary, man. Scary. It is scary. But many people would be saying, well, don't know what you're talking about, Dave. That's fine. And I hope that them things never cross your threshold. But I've seen Kent Police in action on personal levels and at other people's houses, and I absolutely feel disgust when I see them doing what they're doing, assisting bailiffs, using coercive measures and assisting them. I feel disgusted. I feel that they should never ever.
They've earned the nickname the filth, haven't they?
There you go. They are the filth. Yeah, they really, really are the filth.
Really earned it. They
Yeah.
say, oh, there's quite a few good coppers. It's like, really?
Where?
Why aren't they speaking out about all the assholes in there then?
There you go.
If
One bad
if
apple.
you're not committing the crime, they're turning the back on it.
One bad apple in a barrel, they all go sour. I've said that. People said, "Oh, they must be good." I say, "Well, where are they when the bad stuff's going on? Where are they? Why are they not standing up? Why are they not calling out the ill behaviour of their partners?" Police are just a business. They're just a business. That's all they're there for, to make revenue, make money.
Policy enforcers.
Hayley Heyman says, "I'll kick one down the stairs." Well, I know Hayley personally, and she's fair maiden. She don't muck about, and that's what Mo did. Cockney Patriot a couple of weeks ago. I spoke to him earlier on this week, and there was a bailiff had dropped something through his letterbox, and it was to do with Virgin Media. So my friend phoned the bailiff up, and he said, "Listen, mate," he said, "I'm a righteous man." He said, "And I'm fucking done with your shit." He said, "If you come here today and try and do what you're going to do," he said, "one of us is going out dead. I'm prepared to die today. I'm fucking done with you lot treating me like this." And the bloke went, "Mate, well, I'm passing it back." He said, "I ain't even coming out." Maybe that's the way we've got to be. And maybe that is standing on your rights. Maybe casting everything aside and putting your own personal safety to one side and facing death and saying to them, "No, I ain't fucking having this no more." Maybe that is what it means by standing on your rights.
I
Maybe
really wouldn't advise anyone going down that road, because most businesses record the calls and they're just going to send that to the cops, and they're going to get a van load of pigs round smashing the granny out here because of you've threatened someone with violence over the phone.
Shouldn't live in. No, he said, "I don't want to do it." He said, "I'm not a violent man." He said, "But I'm prepared to die
I
today."
won't watch the gang of cops that come round.
Well, they didn't. I think bailiffs know when you actually mean what you say. They don't have a right to interfere with us. They don't have the right. They turn up. I've had them turn up. They think they genuinely believe they own you. It is like, "We own your sorry ass," and I'm like, "No, you don't. Don't fucking own us at all. We own you. We're supposed to be the law. The law's the birthright of the people, for God's sake. The law is the birthright of the people." Where have we gone so badly wrong? But most people can't see it. They're happy paying for their privileges. They pay their tax, insurance, MOT. They're more than happy to pay for that. But they fail to realise that that's just a grant. That's just a privilege, and that can be taken away whenever. And that's sad, because that's not truthful. That's iniquity. That's not standing properly. You're lying to people. You're deceiving them. You're confusing them. You're garbling them up with words and sort of magic. I couldn't. Could you really operate like that in this world and die with a clean conscience? I couldn't.
No.
And I wouldn't. I just couldn't. Even if I did join the job as a young man, and then I see all that bad stuff going on, I'd rip my uniform off in the street and leave it where it fucking was laying and say, "I'm out of here, mate. Don't want nothing more to do with this fuckery." What do you mean I've got to go and beat up my brothers and sisters in my own country? No, I don't think so. It's sick, mate, what
That's
I
where
got.
the UN comes in handy, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so.
Because it's multinational, so they'll send the French in to beat the Italians up, the Italians in to beat the Germans up up to beat the French. It's reciprocal, isn't it? You won't be kicking your own front door in, but while you're kicking someone else, your neighbour's front door in, someone's kicking yours in.
The old bill, if it's not wearing a seatbelt, if it's doing 36 and a 30, these things were technically known as civil matters. And civil matters have to be dealt with civilly. It means writing letters, and that's about it. But now it's criminal. Well, it can't be criminal because well, it just simply isn't criminal, because there's no injury, harm, or loss. But yet they're still coming around to people's houses. They're dragging them out of their houses for these fucking stupid things. Now, if you're a copper, you've got to be a brain dead cunt to think that's normal, because that ain't normal. And you shouldn't.
It might be normal in the coppers, though. That's the thing, isn't it? You get
Wow.
brainwashed into thinking it's normal to act that way as a copper.
Being brainwashed and just following orders in history's never stood the test of time.
No,
It's
it hasn't.
always it's always come short. And just like everyone was told, you're going to kill Granny, go and get your. I've had landline messages from the doctors. We've booked you in for your. I'm thinking I ain't even fucking rung you. What are you ringing me up for to book me in for a jab? Well, now we're seeing that it hasn't gone their way. They are questioning the science, and now they're apologising for bullying people and acting like total dictator twats. And they've got egg on their face. And maybe at some point, maybe that might come out with the police. I don't know. I don't understand their arrogance and their willful disregard for decency. And that's where they've gone. They've decided to go down this path. The wrong people in this world have the weapons.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. They really do, and it is what it is. But you'll never get so-called justice or whatever that is. I don't even know what that word is. I've really got no idea. But if you look at Tracy Blackwell losing her son and the two other lads, Tracy's now got a life sentence. She's lost a young teenage boy, and to top that off, there is no one in this country prepared to help that woman to try and get some measure on what happened and so that it doesn't happen again. And I think that's what her intent is, to try and stop this from happening to. And I spoke to Tracy. She said, I don't want this happening to anyone else's child. And that's my focus and my drive. But is there anybody in the courts, in the civil service, in the police that actually care? And the answer is no. And so where do you go for justice? Where do you go if you're murdered, stabbed, raped, pillaged? Who in this country, where are you going? There's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. And that's sad. That is the ironic part about that is that's so sad when that happens and no one cares. I care, and that's the reason why I do what I do.
I picked up a good clip yesterday. It was a voice recording of someone in Australia, a lady in Australia, doing one of these video court appearances. And she, right from the go, she claimed to be the trustee of the beneficiary of the trust or something like that. What's the word here?
Beneficiary.
Yeah, being beneficiary. So she's taking charge of the trust, and they tried railroading her, and in the end, it was again for charges for going out when they were supposed to be staying in, the emergency COVID-19 laws that you had in Australia, and she stuck to her guns, and she even said, "Sylvia, Your Honour, are you trying to administer my trust without my consent?" And there was like a silence, and you could see in the end they quashed it.
Got no choice but to.
They quashed it.
We got a guy in this country.
Because she at least went to join her.
Good for her. Good for her.
I'll play it tomorrow on Saturday on the show if anyone's listening.
Yeah, it does. Over the target. That's spear thresher. There's a man in this country. He's not well at the moment. It's a bit of a concern. I love him. He's a nice Simon Muller. His name is. He stood up in a court up north, good 4 or 5 months ago, and I've got the recording of him, although a bit muffled. But he was telling the judges, "You don't have the authority to do anything to me. I don't give you that authority." And they all got up and fucking run out of the building. And he's never heard a dicky bird about that since that day. Now, that's a man standing up for himself and his rights. He was, "Don't you dare talk to me like that." He's going, "You don't have any authority to talk to me like that." And they run, mate. They fucking
One of the first ones I saw is someone defeated him in court. He just demanded to see their oath. And they couldn't, and he couldn't carry on with the proceedings until he'd seen the oath, which the so-called judge is supposed to provide upon request.
Yeah. Craig Baxter's made a fabulous point. He says it says in the book, follow the law of your country till it is in opposition to God's law, then don't. Now, in Parliament, in the entrance, in the floor, in the mosaics, there's Psalms 125 written in it. And Psalms 125 goes along the lines of, if the Lord doesn't sit in this house, all watchers labour in vain. And it's in it, and that's the problem. Whatever the Bible is, the Bible was the common law, the good law, the equity law, and it meant morals and all that was on point. But sadly, that's gone, and it's sad. It's very sad. We've become a very ungodly country and an ungodly people. This guy a couple of days ago clearing up this mess from the council. He's just a normal guy in his early 60s, and people were offering to get out their cars and have a proper fight with him because all he was saying was, "I'm clearing the road. You're gonna have to turn around and just turn off." And would you say it to me? Would you say it to me? Do you want to have it? And he's got a shovel in his hand, thinking, "I'm just clearing the road up so I can clear it, so you lot can carry on your." I don't understand people's mentality, all this anger. Why is it they just want to have a fight all the time? Was we ever really that bad?
No.
Don't think we was. We knew how to
No.
have a war, stand up for righteous justice, but we've become a quite a nasty people, in fairness. We really have. There's still some good ones though.
Because everyone's under so much pressure right now, and they're under so much fear, and it's a massive psyop, and
Huge.
It's working.
It's a massive psyop, massive psyop. Some of the things that I've done over the years, when I look back, I think, wow, the mind control that I was under just to be doing the things I was doing. It's scandalous. It's not proper. It's not proper. But I've always been my own man, and I guess that's why I've been a bit of an easy target to these bastards over the years. And because I always thought that it was all decent, fair, and above board. I didn't realise it was so carnivorous. And you learn the hard way. You do.
Yeah.
You do learn the hard way.
Yeah.
And Craig says that's because it was God's office before it was usurped. And I agree with him. Parliament was the house of the Lord. It was. And that's why it's anything they do up there now, they can change this individual, that one. It's all going to end up in a mess because it can't be allowed to continue under that ethos. Because it will be. It just will be. That it's going to be. Then people need ushering out, mate. That building needs shutting down, and the people just need to be able to breathe a sigh of relief. Trust me, I really do. Because what do? They don't do anything. The banks print money. Everyone goes about their business. What do people in that building actually
you're
do?
right. It's
They
just
don't do.
over the years, all the systems have been taken in the same way. Like, the medical industry, the pharma industry around the 1920s, when they got the grips on that, and the education and everything else. They've it's like, I say, if you got ill back in the day, you'd be going from doctor to doctor. You might get healed, you might not. And then this group has come along and said, we're a group and we're in charge. And we tell the doctors, because we all read from the same book. And they start writing a few papers. And then they start writing to government bodies. And then they promote themselves as an authority on that particular system, whether it's the education, and everyone else has just gone, okay, you lead us then.
It's always
And it's just an assumed power that we've capitulated to.
Yeah, no, we have. And I can remember as a kid, if I was playing up or someone in my family, my nan, my granddad, my mum and dad, watch out, they're going to come round. Oh, they've got their eye on you. And I'll be thinking, whoa, who's they? Whenever you was out with your mates, be careful, they'll have you over, they'll pull you over on the side. Who are these people called they? I've always wanted to know who the people called they are. Who are they? I don't know. Do you know them? I don't know.
We do, really.
It's always the boogeyman, isn't it? It's all the Wizard of Oz.
It all comes the ship rolls downhill, doesn't it? And it all comes from the top.
But what is the top?
Just follow the money to the top.
These people are sick, bro. They've got a proper mental illness, and we're coming up.
Who owns the banks? Who owns the media? Who owns the TV stations? Who owns the pharma company? Who owns the pharma companies? And then you've got to eventually that question comes along.
It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. But for anyone in government that's watching, when you work for an organisation that's considered everybody dead lost at sea, you're fucked in the head, mate. You ain't fucking right. You need to go and see a doctor.
We know our last 3 prime ministers have been WEF puppets.
Oh, of course I have.
It's like, what chance have we got until we stop giving these people office?
I try my hardest to deny my lifeline. With everything I do, the only little bit of taxation they get out of me is food. The rest, I don't pay nothing. Even now, I don't buy diesel, don't buy petrol. I don't use my van. I use my velomobile.
I've got an interesting video on how to make an engine run on water.
Hey, happy
days.
And
it shows you how he builds it. So that's going to be a good one. Yeah.
Well, the reason why they want everyone trapped on diesel and all that is because it keeps us as a begging bowl nation. Where's the visionaries? Where's the Nikolai Teslas of the modern era? Where are all these people that have got these brainstorms that can produce free energy, that can run cars on water?
Where they are, Dave. They either get snapped up by the government or they get offed. Like all the people in the past that's tried to patent and produce water-powered vehicles, for instance. And I've played quite a few from over different decades, from the, I think, late 60s, one in the 70s, there's a Citroen that did. I put loads out there, and they all go the same way. They all die. And the latest one died in Buffalo. It was the security guard, I think he was off-duty copper. He got shot. The guy that drove 200 miles to shoot up the shopping mall. That guy, that security guard, had just the week before done an interview about his patent for a water-powered motor, and he even showed you his car running on it.
Really?
Yeah. These people are evil. They've got a massive spiders, whatever.
Yeah, no, they are. That's all going to go. I don't know what's coming. I can feel it. And it ain't far away now. It's whatever's coming ain't far away. I can feel it in the water.
Yeah.
It's not far away, bro. We just got to keep encouraging people to carry on doing what they're doing.
I mean, the simplest thing to do, just get them to look up.
Yeah. That's not creation. I've been up in an aeroplane. We went, I think, Portugal or Spain about 5-6 years ago. And I can remember looking out the windows as we're flying through the skies through the PCL, thinking that's all chemtrails. We're flying through all these aluminiums and bariums that are hanging around up here, and falling down to the earth. It's uncanny, really, that we don't pay attention to what we ought to be paying attention to. We're just like rabbits in the headlight and cows in the field just grazing. But people are going to be forced to pay attention. Trust me, it's coming like a fucking steam train.
Well, I'll tell you what, I am waking people up with, Dave. I've got an app I've just downloaded on the wife's phone called BLE Tool. And with that, you can scan for unregistered Bluetooth devices.
That's right.
That's what you scan people with. You can see all these MAC codes coming up, and you can show people. It's so simple to do, and you can't deny it. All these MAC addresses.
How does someone?
Everyone can do that and put the evidence in front of people.
There was when I was at Bob's house a few months ago. I'm trying to think what this lad's name was. He was doing exactly that. He had his phone out and he was going around. I went, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm seeing who's had the jabs." I went, "We got a magic wand." He went, "No, it's on my phone, Bluetooth app." I went, "What?" He said, "On Bluetooth." He said, "It comes up if you've had a jab. It'll have the vial number and the serial number." And he said, then he showed me the dark web where they've got everyone's movements of where they are in the world. And I'm thinking, whew. Now, I don't think a man could create such a devious thing like that. This is coming from a very higher, darker power. I don't think there's a man alive that can be this dark. I think it's coming from the Luciferians.
This is a long planned out exercise.
Hugely
it's been taking it a century from its inception to where we are now.
Yeah, big time, bro. Big time.
Right, well,
here's
a point. So I meant to ask you, because you're a man of the Bible. The King George, the KJV Bible, which is the one that's older than that? I can't remember the name of it.
KJV was put straight in 1611 by King James.
Yeah.
Other than that,
before that,
not the Apocrypha.
I think it was the first to be translated from Latin. The first version. Anyway, in that book, second book of Samuel, verse 11. Samuel.
Yeah.
Chapter 11, verse 11. It tells you the people camped on the flat earth. On KJV, it says in the fields. Why did he change it?
Well, because man's evil. Man is a manipulator. Man is a manipulator. Man is certain. That's what I've learned over the years. Is there's some fucking devious people out there, man. So, I mean, all my life I've tried to live a clean slate in as best way as I can. Yeah, I've ducked and dived, but I've never hurt anyone really. Never physically or stolen nothing. I'd question the morals, and a lot of people who work in government, they are skullduggerous, they're deceptive, they're serpents. They are literally, they lie to your face, man. They lie to the bare bones of your arse cheeks just to get what they want, and that's these control through the monetary system. Well, good luck to them. And I hope if that's what they want, they get it all. Because then what do they do after that? Where do they find their happiness? I don't think any of them are happy. I don't think they realise what creation is and just how happy and beautiful creation is, and that's sad. When this is going on, I could never take any part in their shit, none at all. Never could do, and maybe that's why I've walked a bit of a lonely path in life for myself and keep close family, because I can't walk that path. I can't walk the path that they want people to walk, and I never will do. Never ever will I. No way. So listen, as always, Spear, thanks for tuning in.
My pleasure.
I want to get up and go to work, and I'm velamobiling a lot at the moment, so it's taking it out of me. But it's good. I'm getting nice and fit. and I'm not having to tax, insure, or MOT it either, and I'm flying down the road doing whatever I want to do. So, thanks, mate. Appreciate you joining me tonight.
My pleasure.
And keep the faith, and hope the puppy sorts itself out, and you have a good time with the dog, mate.
Aye, likewise.
Guys and girls, to everybody out there, I'm tired tonight. I don't know if you can tell that in my voice. I am quite blah at the minute, but next week we're going to be frisky as you like. So come and join the show next week. I'm going to be supercharged, super lively. So we'll see you all next week. Thanks very much to Spearthrower for coming and joining me, Mike. Hope you're having a nice time wherever you are. To all you lovely, beautiful souls out there, God bless you all, and we'll see you next week. Take care.